Week 2's here. Bears, Packers, gross. At Packers, double gross. But fun part, Bears, not Packers. Bears are 1-0. Packers are 0-1. Take that, you cheeseheads. But we are super excited for this upcoming Sunday Night Football's game. Can't wait. I honestly look more forward, Tony, for Sunday Night Football for the opening part where it goes, the Packers and the Bears on Sunday night. I'm like, yes, I have to work tomorrow, but I get to drink beer on the Lord's Day. Tony, I don't know. I love Sunday Night Football, and I'm pumped because the Bears are walking in with a better record than the Green Bay Packers for once.
Yes. I've thought about this multiple times. I thought about this this past Sunday too. Do you think they film all the Carrie Underwood, like singing whatever, all of the matchups before the season, or do you think they do it like before each week, or how do you think they do that?
They 100% do it in like they all do it in one shot. But what she probably does is when it goes da na 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 na, like so in between they edit out the words. So like it would be the Cowboys, like they put in, she'll like sing the word Cowboys and then Buccaneers, like then she'll put that in, but she'll just sing that one line once and then the producers will just edit it a few times. Cause you know for a fact that she's probably like, F this, I do this every year. Or they have saved those clips from every year because they've done it for so long.
That's a great point. Movie magic, NBC. Who would have thought they'd have that good of technology?
And she still gets the loyalties for it. So Carrie Underwood, like, is a sugar mama for sure. Ron, if you're available, we'll get you with Carrie Underwood. Just putting that out. Tony knows her personally. But we're anyway. The Packers and I should not sing, but I sang for you guys one time. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate the head not to not sing. The game overview, the good guys on offense and defense, and even the special teams. Bellis Jones Jr. is looking to play this Sunday night against the Green Bay Packers. Justin Fields actually has a field and a game plan. Dominic Robinson is coming to throw Aaron Rodgers around like a rag doll like he did to Trey Lance. And the best secondary in football is going to make Aaron Rodgers' life hell. So, Tony and I will go into 3 keys of the game, final score predictions, and why we know the Bears will be 2-0. But to start things off, what just pisses me off is how much ESPN hates Chicago sports. Bears have a 12.8% chance, according to ESPN's stupid odds calculator. I'm over it. Tony, I know you got something written up about it. You're a betting man, but like I am just so over the fact of how bad of underdogs they are when the Packers got their how do I say this without swear? I'm just gonna swear. Their shit rocked.
Doors blown off would have been good.
The doors blown off. If I edit it out, I edit it off. I don't. Sorry, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so I hear what you're saying, and especially as a White Sox fan, if there's any White Sox fans out there, we get left off of here's all the championships from Chicago sports. They don't even mention us there. So I agree with you. ESPN stinks. Honestly, though, I'm happy that we're kind of being given that 0% chance because I want zero expectations going to this game. Anyone who's been a Chicago sports fan in general should be terrified of too much hype around one of our teams. Especially the Chicago Bears. We know how expectations end. The year after, so it must have been 2019 when the Bears were the Super Bowl betting favorites and Mitch Trubisky was the favorite to win MVP, or not the favorite, but they were the biggest liability in Vegas. And we know how that turned out. We don't need that extra target on our back, especially against the Packers. I hope we're all on the same page there. I'll give you my prediction at the end of what happens. It may surprise you. Who knows? But I want no expectations going in.
I just hate when like Stephen A or like any of these guys come on and they just start ripping into the Bears. And in my head, I'm like, you're a Cowboys fan. Are you kidding me? You support like the Cowboys. I hate it. I hate it. And like,
we haven't done too much to deserve a lot of credit recently. I will say if we do beat the Packers and they're like, well, whatever, it is what it is. And they don't really talk about it. Yes, that's where I'm upset. But when we're getting blown out, but we're barely beating the Lions on Thanksgiving, it is hard to be like, come on, Stephen A. Like, talk good about the Bears, in my opinion.
Okay, so I'll say that, like, after week 1, so let's just kind of hop into the good guys' offense versus the stinky guys' offense, as in the stinky cheeseheads. They smell like moldy cheese, especially after last week. The 2020 Bears are the absolute lowest yardage offense in the NFL so far in 2022. 32nd in total yards. Field conditions, the Niners are also 21st. So they're not that far off from Chicago. They suck just as bad as we do. And the field conditions were a factor. There's no doubt about that. But we have the 18th rushing offense in total yards and 32nd because Justin Fields couldn't do anything. But again, field conditions. Trey Lance is the 30th best passing quarter. I'm just putting that out there. But the Packers defense sucks so far. Okay. 25th in total yards allowed, 21st in total rushing yards allowed, and 24th in passing yards allowed. Sucks. And first of all, Justin Jefferson, thank you for the fantasy points last week. But also, Green Bay's secondary sucks. And I will put that out there. I will die on that hill. They suck so bad. I know you agree, Tony.
Simple comment. Yes, it does. You're absolutely correct. It does suck. It was funny because it was like how we covered Devontae Adams the last few years, where it's just like guys are falling down right out the snap. It's like, how do we have just no awareness of covering arguably the best receiver in the league, which was, and you can still make the argument Devontae Adams is whatever, but especially when he was on the Packers. But now that's just Justin Jefferson. Geez, the double J's really throwing me for a loop here. But looking up at the TV every time, it's like, how is he that wide open? I mean, that's more than just, oh man, he kind of beat me off the line. Like, those are pure fundamental breakdowns in defense, which makes me excited for, I know we saw a couple of those plays last week when it was I'm already blanking on his name. Dante Pettis. That's his name, right?
I honestly am so happy he made the roster. He's just a good roster guy. And he had one of 2 touchdown passes. But yes, 100% with what you're saying. It's totally relevant. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but I 100% agree with what you're saying. Okay.
I was done.
Well, just what I think the Bears offense is going to do against this Green Bay defense is Justin Fields is going to have a better field to play on. Luke Getsy also knows that Green Bay defense pretty well, all their weaknesses, because they really didn't do much to overhaul that defense. So it's not like they got better. They just
arguably got worse.
They arguably got worse. And Justin Fields is a better quarterback now. He has, in my opinion, Allen Robinson after week 1 with LA. Was Allen Robinson even good? I mean, I'm just saying, like, seriously, I mean, he had 2,000-yard season with the Bears. I get that. But also with what he did in LA, like, he should have been an all-star, and he had 1 catch. So all the smack that he was talking about the Bears. Anyway, we're not talking about Allen Robinson anymore. What I'm saying is that the Bears offense is way better. And also they have the number 1 offensive line after week 1 against Nick Bosa in a very tough San Francisco defense. Just want to put that out there. So Green Bay sucks. I think the offense is going to do a lot more this upcoming week.
And if we're talking wide receivers too, we're talking the other side of the ball here. Christian Watson, absolute bust. I know that is probably going to come back to bite me if he goes off. I get that. I don't care. I'm calling my shot.
We're going down together.
Maybe it was jitters, maybe whatever, when he alligator armed that wide open pass. But it's one thing if you do that for the Lions, but if you do that for Aaron Rodgers, he's never going to forget that. Like, he might as well never play football again or just demand a trade. I mean, that's it.
They were saying, Packers fans were all like, when we were talking about Watson, and then we were saying how, we got St. Brown instead of Watson because the Packers took him before us, obviously, which, thank you, Green Bay, so far. Like 100, and I will live by and I liked Christian Watson just because of his size. You go out and get St. Brown, literally the same size player, and they were calling St. Brown Butterfingers. He dropped 2 wide open passes. I get it. It's your first NFL game, but when you're playing for Aaron Rodgers, completely unacceptable, especially when you're wide open. Way to go. You went to North Dakota State. Sick, man. Just want to put that out there. But I agree. He's a bust after week 1. If we're both going to say it because we're a team and we're going to go down, die on that hill together. So
absolutely. Biggest overreaction week of the year. And you know what? I am overreacting. Let me tell you. And I stand by every word I say.
But the thing is that that people are going to be like, yeah, screw Green Bay, screw everyone on it. Like, I can't stand I also can't stand Adrian Amos anymore. I'm sorry. I'm not. No, I'm not even sorry. I just can't stand the guy anymore because he got his big break in Chicago, late round pick, and then he goes to Green Bay because of money.
Brought his pro football focus, whatever, like
to the meeting,
report card in the meeting saying this is why I deserve more money. We could have a whole nother episode about why they're kind of. I hate pro football focus.
I hope Justin Fields just goes after him the whole time. I really hope he does. But anyway, all right, let's go into more stats here for everybody because we're just kind of on a tangent right now. The Chicago Bears defense versus the Packers offense. So the Packers have the 19 total yard offense so far after week 1. They're 15th in rushing, 16th in total passing yards. Way to go, Butterfingers Watson. You went to North Dakota State. Just putting that out there. But then you go to the Bears defensive ranking. So they're 13th in total yards defense. They are 26 in total rushing yards defense. But I want to put this out there. Literally all San Francisco could do against the Chicago Bears defense last week was run. And I give them 100% credit for that because half of our defenders were slipping, whatever. But our secondary did a fantastic job stopping Deebo Samuel, stopping, Trey Lance, and everyone that ran up the middle. Elijah Mitchell, which, God, I hate that he's hurt because he was my first running back that I took. Idiot move by me. But Bears have the third best passing defense. And let me just say some stats for the folks back at home. Eddie Jackson gave up 0 yards with an interception. Jalen Johnson had a forced fumble, gave up 0 yards. Jaquan Brisker gave up 2 yards, only on 1 completion. Everything else, zip. Kyler Gordon struggled, but he was awesome against the run. So he definitely was the strength of the run against for the secondary. Good balance. I will say that. Bears won the game. I don't care. The Bears won the game. And with Deebo Samuel as one of their wide receivers. Just putting that out there. So I think the Bears overall rating is top 10. No doubt about it. Last week's field conditions definitely were an impact. And also people were all these going back to ESPN super fast. And I'm sure you guys also heard this, but they were like, the field conditions, like they weren't as bad as they're saying it is. It was a puddle. They literally were able to slide from the 10-yard line to the end of the end zone. And you're going to tell me that? Shut up, ESPN.
It looked like it was sinking into Lake Michigan. Like genuinely.
There was no drainage. And here's what's crazy is that the sod actually, they said caught. Like it rooted into the ground. So like just imagine if it wasn't. It would have been, they wouldn't have been able to play the game.
The old Kentucky bluegrass or whatever it is instead of the Bermuda grass they brought in.
No, the old Kentucky grass. Now it's Bermuda.
That? Yeah, this was the good stuff, and it was still brutal.
I love that the Bears still rent or they pay to play in the Park District, but Matt Eberflus was like, nah, you're gonna put that in. You're gonna put that grass in.
Absolutely.
And then the McCaskies were like, okay, just here you go. Here's a check because we're worth $1 billion more than last year. Anyway,
it's the opposite of that Who song where new boss same as the old boss. It's new boss different than the old boss, better than the old boss. Matt Eberflus coming to bring a championship to Chicago because of the grass.
My dad texted me, I need you to put money on the Bears. Okay, I was like, and it was what was it? I think it was 13,000 odds to win the Super Bowl. And he was like, here. I was like, all right, we're doing it. Bears will win the Super Bowl this year. So I would love that. But anyway, so I want to start off with this. I want to start off with this as another discussion. We only have 7 minutes left here. Is Minnesota's defense good, or did Aaron Rodgers lose his power without Luke Getsy? I think he lost his power. Because Nathaniel Hackett sucks in Denver. Doesn't know. And he called great plays, but he was also given a great quarterback, and he kicks a field. Anyway, you pay a guy, Russell Wilson, that money, you throw the ball, Nathaniel. But Luke Getsy left too, and there was success there. I think Luke Getsy and Aaron Rodgers also only talks about Luke Getsy. He doesn't talk about Nathaniel Hackett, at least from what I've seen on Twitter. So was there actually really just a suit for the madness behind the scenes for the Green Bay Packers and Luke Getsy? I don't know.
Shout out the Bears leadership and whoever exactly pulled the trigger on Luke Getsy, because we got the right Packers. Because I know Nathaniel Hackett was thrown out there for head coach and all that. So far, did a good job there.
Fantastic job.
I do think their play, the Packers I'm talking about, I do think their play calling was foolish, especially with two talented physical backs. They only ran it a combined 15 times for 94 yards. Two guys that, especially if we're going to go off like fantasy, those are guys that get drafted really high because they produce every time.
And Minnesota doesn't have a good off defense either, by the way. They're old.
And I do think, and what the Vikings did a great job of, this is what the Bears are going to have to do, which it's going to be hard to do it a second time, obviously. But they ambushed them. They just put up points on them quick. And it helped that, obviously, Justin Jefferson's running around out there with nobody covering him. But they were, the Packers had to play from behind. And I get that as a Bears fan. I get playing from behind and having to throw the ball a ton of times. So I do think that might have been the biggest factor. I think the Vikings have a decent defense, decent enough. It's
not bad.
It's a new regime. I know Mike Zimmer was the defensive guy or whatever, but it's still a new regime. And we've seen with the Bears defense played pretty good. And I think that it's just different. And that's what's important. I think that made a big difference. But it does scare me that the Vikings might be good.
I think, very good. Well,
we don't have to talk
Kirk
about
Cousins is your quarterback.
That's true.
Just putting that out there.
We always have that, which is nice. Yes.
Not elite. I love that. Who was it? Big Cat posted that Kirk Cousins is definitely the kind of guy that has $1 million in cold cash because he just dresses like a. Everyone else is like wearing well-fitted shirts, whatever. Kirk Cousins just walks in with eyes on or whatever you call it. Like,
I like Jared Goff, I will say, but the Bears definitely have the coolest quarterback in the NFC North. That's a fact.
Oh, 100%. I think Jared Goff's a good guy. Like, good guys don't win Super Bowls.
He's a funny guy too. Like, he's a very personable guy. I've heard him, in a couple interviews. Very funny. Seems like a cool guy. But Justin Fields, I mean,
I think we should start doing what Big Cat does, where he calls quarterbacks and asks them random questions. We'll like call Eric Kramer and be like, Eric, like you're on air right now. Just quick question. Like we should start trying to do that. We're like the great value, the great value type. Because we can't call active NFL quarterbacks, but we call the greatest Bears quarterback of all time. Mm-hmm. So just putting that out there.
Okay,
Eric Kramer, then Kyle Orton.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Just kidding. Eric, if you're listening.
And then, of course, come on. No, Eric's awesome. I was supposed to meet up with him while he was in Chicago during he was actually one of the 80 alumni that were invited to Chicago. I don't know if you guys saw that, but the Bears posted that, opening day, they had a big dinner and everything. I was invited to meet up with Eric. Unfortunately, timing did not work out very well. But again, most down-to-earth guy, tweet him, talk to him, anything. Love Eric Kramer. Definitely. But I'm not calling Eric Kramer great value, by the way. I am calling Eric Kramer literally the Ralph Lauren, the Balenciaga, the Burberry, whatever. I am the great value of podcasting because, Big Cat is big inspiration for this show, by the way. Just want to put that out there. But anyway, I'm very confident in our secondary. I think they're going to make Aaron Rodgers' life hell. I think he's going to go after Kyler Gordon a lot because Kyler Gordon struggled, but also that Alan Williams was definitely roasting him in practice this week, handling that. So quickly, just want to go through the injury report as of tonight. We are recording on Thursday, September 15th at 8:07 p.m. as I'm saying that. Offensive tackle Riley Reif is listed as questionable. Bellis Jones Jr. was limited for the last 2 days. Huge for special teams. Huge. N'Keal Harry still out till week 4. And offensive tackle Alex Leatherman was placed on the non-football illness list. Don't know what that's all about. He was on the, I don't know. Some stuff's going on there. Packers wide receiver, Adam Lazard, the only maybe okay experienced wide receiver, is questionable with an ankle
Hall
injury.
of Fame wide receiver, according to Aaron Rodgers, when compared to Devontae Adams. Yeah, of course. Oh, man, what a shame.
Jesus. Offensive tackle David Baccalara. I hope I said that right.
Not even close, but that's okay.
Not even close. I don't even
I guess I might be wrong too.
Sorry, does he wear orange and blue? No, he wears green and
good
yellow.
Point.
So I think everyone that was about to roast me for my pronunciation, they could be like, okay, he does play for the Packers. He's questionable. He's day to day. Offensive guard John Tony, go ahead. Give it a shot.
Runyon, I don't know, like Tunyon probably.
For 2. He's questionable with a concussion. You want to go for the third one, Tony?
Oh yeah, this one's an easy one. Elton, like Elton with the G. Jenkins is also questionable. He's a guard.
Just take it away, Tony.
Yeah, I don't really know that guy. Yeah, I don't know a ton about him. I think that's how you pronounce it. And linebacker, Kears Barnes.
I cannot wait to get roasted in the comments for that one. That was our worst round in a long time. We don't care. They play for Green Bay.
My apologies. But yeah, he was placed on IR, which it seems like is it sounds like that's kind of Packers fans are upset about that. So I assume that's good for us. So
good. I hope they're upset.
I know what you would probably say right now, where it's honestly, this is like the first Bears-Packers game since 2018 that you feel like the Bears have less injured players than Green Bay.
Yes. Tell me the last 4 seasons where you haven't felt that the Bears walked into Lambeau Field with half their roster on the injured list.
Like, you're absolutely correct.
And after last week's game too, playing on horrible field conditions, this team is, Matt Eberflus said this team's going to be tough and they're going to be healthy. And you got everyone that's on the list is a depth chart guy. Velus Jones Jr. is starting on kickoff. I get that. Ebner did not do a bad job filling in for him last week, by the way. Just want to put that out there. But God, it just feels good. When your team is healthy, you're good. You're in a much better position you are when your team's not healthy. Basic logic. I'm going to Harvard. Tony, any comments on that?
It's like the White Sox today against the Guardians. We're fully healthy and we kicked their butts. But so I'm not used to Green Bay potentially having that, we had guys injured excuse, like you said. And people will say, I want to beat a team fully healthy. Screw that, man. We're past that point. If it was like a real good rivalry where we're winning, they're winning, whatever, back and forth, we've had all the excuses. We pulled out all the tricks in the book. We need all the help we can get. Bakhtiari is definitely the most impactful, in my opinion, of those injuries. I know Ellen Lazard, Hall of Fame quarterback, wide receiver, according to Aaron Rodgers. But yeah, I don't know why I called him quarterback. That was tough. But I hope Bakhtiari doesn't play. I hope he's okay, and I hope he's fine as the person, whatever. But we do not need his talent or his veteran presence on that field in this game. Kind of giving, especially first game back at Lambeau, they've been missing him. We don't need that. I don't know if you agree or disagree, but I know
you know what? They're going to lose. They're going to lose to the Chicago Bears, and everyone's going to get pissed about it because everyone's like, man, the Bears are good again. We have to talk about them positively. Like, yeah, you do, because I'm not saying the words. I'm not saying the famous words, this part of your body, that the Bears are this part of your body. I'm not saying it yet. If they win Sunday night, though, I might have to get a shirt made. Let's go to 3 keys of the game. I'm just going to start off things super fast here because we have to get into score predictions for you guys. We are way over what we usually do, but it's Packers week. It's Packers week. You know what? I hope you guys are having fun because we're having fun while doing this for you. Also, if you're still listening, please make sure that you go to the link in the description for the Facebook event for our Week 5 Bears versus Vikings viewing party. Free beer while supplies last. Free T-shirts for those who answer questions correctly. We will have Bears trivia, and Tony will be there. I'm confident with it. I had to bribe him a little bit, but he'll be there. But anyway, so we're going to get after it. 3 keys to the game. Tony would come no matter what anyway. I just had to, give my appreciation.
We had to get our schedules,
We had to get our schedules all put together. But October 9th, show up at Murphy's at 11 o'clock. You're going to get free beer because guess what? When it's Sunday and it's football season, you can have a beer at 5 a.m. and it's coffee. Okay, so let's go into the 3 keys of the game. For me, get after Aaron Rodgers, make his life hell, especially with his 2 starting offensive linemen out. No good wide receivers. He can't run against the Bears' fast defense. He even said that he wishes that Roquan Smith, or he would not have minded if Roquan Smith got traded due to his athletic ability. That's my number 1. Number 2, let Justin Fields control the game again. In the second half, you could tell that Luke Getsy let him make decisions if the pocket was breaking down. I know he didn't have a choice, but he knew where to go. And he also threw to the person that he wanted to throw to, not the design play. His eyes weren't totally locked. In the second half, he was not looking directly at who he was supposed to go to the whole time. Let him make decisions. That's my point number 2. Number 3, get the tight end involved because Cole Kmet's on my fantasy team and I need points bad. But also with Velus Jones Jr. coming back, the Bears are on better field conditions. The Packers know where Fields will go, and he's going to want to go with the deep ball because he's got Mooney, Pettis, and now Velus Jones Jr. potentially going downfield. Throw it up to Kmet up the middle, make their life hell. That's all I'm going to say. Tony, quickly, 3 keys to the game.
Yep. I'm semi-ironically a Velus Jones Jr. stan. We can get into that on another episode. So my first key is establish the run. We need to get the ground game going so the Packers can't pin their ears back, and make life hell for Fields. That's as we saw, when he has a little bit of room, he can make a play. Pretty simple. The second one's even simpler. Make field goals. That's it. That's just a key to the game.
I don't think that was totally Santos' fault, but I'm happy he took the blame.
No, definitely. And I have right here. I'm going to give Santos a pass on last week, given the circumstances, but he's got to be money this week, which goes into my last key, which is smart, clean football. Smart, clean football. Limit mistakes and penalties, which they did. They've done a great job.
I agree. They've done a great job compared to last year. Holy cow. Mm-hmm.
Especially in a game last year that probably warranted a lot of sloppy play, I guess you could say, both literally and figuratively. Shocking that they played as clean as they did. Get off the field on 3rd down, take the crowd out of it, that the Lambeau factor, It's a real thing, especially on Sunday night in prime time.
It stinks like cheese?
It does stink like cheese. That's what I'm talking about. Get that smell out of there. Don't give them any room to breathe. Pedal to the metal. Foot on their necks. Do not let up.
Coach Tony's coming at you. Quarterbacks Coach Tony. He did not get let go last year when the new regime came in. There's like one guy we're keeping. That's Tony Cepeda. Okay, so score predictions. Tony, I'll let you say yours first because mine's a little crazy, but I'll let you go first.
So I said this might surprise you guys. I know you guys are expecting me to pick the Bears. Well, I'm here to say that I absolutely am. Of course I'm picking the Bears. Are you kidding me? Packers week and I'm going to pick no. Bears 27-20.
I love the way you said that. Of course I'm going to pick the Bears.
Of course. Bears 27-20. Fields plays, I think he plays conservative and in control, but he definitely will make a few of those wow plays that we'll just be rewatching over and over on Monday morning. I did that this week already. Just smiling at my phone. This is amazing. I think Santos is going to be perfect. That's a heck of a jinx. I knocked on wood. Don't know if you heard it. And Rodgers, I think he will have the ball late with a chance to pull like that classic, Rodgers Packers upset or comeback, I guess it would be. But this is the new era, and we stop them. This is when the torch is officially passed. Bear down.
Bear down. I'm going 31-10. They're going to stomp the Packers because Justin Fields is going to have 3 touchdowns. He's going to have an interception because he's still going to make mistakes. Santos needs to make the first field goal to get his confidence back. Monty and Khalil Herbert will run absolutely everywhere. Robert Quinn will have 1.5 sacks because he needs to make up for last week. 31-10, 27-20. Bears are going to be 2-0 after week 2. They're going to leave Lambeau Field, and it's going to smell like rotten cheese because the Bears are hungry, and they're going to take all the fresh cheese back to Chicago and take the life out of the Green Bay Packers. So with that, thank you very much for joining this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Rohde, joined alongside my good friend and co-host, Tony Cepeda, wherever you are. Up on the screen right now, he's above me, but he's probably somewhere. There we go. But with that, bear down. Bears going to be 2-0. Share your comments share your thoughts in the comments below, and we will see you guys next time.